The return of Mary Jane Watson from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies and the return of Karen Page from Daredevil may have just been confirmed for Spider-Man No Way Home. Because the paparazzi, of course, has been out there doing their job, and they got a photo of Deborah Ann Woll, who played Karen Page in the Netflix Daredevil series, alongside Kirsten Dunst, who played MJ in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, in the same area where they are currently doing reshoots for Spider-Man No Way Home. We know that for a fact because we actually just saw that Tom Holland is in LA right now because he was just at the premiere for the Suicide Squad. And so, if they're doing reshoots for the movie, and you got Tom Holland there, and you got Kirsten Dunst and Deborah Ann Woll there, especially with those two being together, I suppose they could just be friends and just going out and hanging out with each other, but, there's just too many coincidences here for it to not be what we all think is going on. Because we've heard the crazy rumors and supposed leaks and reports about this movie, and when it comes to both of these characters, they both would have connections to what we've heard about this. Kirsten Dunst, again, as MJ, is with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. We've heard the rumors that Tobey Maguire is back as Spider-Man. Still no official confirmation, but it is pretty likely. There's also a lot of evidence with that. And then same goes for Charlie Cox's return as Daredevil, or Matt Murdock in the film as well. So that would be the connection to Karen Page. But let's talk about each one individually. So first of all, of course, Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane Watson from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. This is something that we've actually been heard and hearing rumors of for the longest time. Literally back in December when we first started getting all these rumors, it was like that one day where everything just broke, where I think it was first confirmed, alright, Alfred Molina's come back as Doc Ock, and then a whole bunch of other reports came out about Andrew Garfield coming back, Kirsten Dunst, Emma Stone, Dane DeHaan. Some of those have been debunked now, or have they? We don't really know at this point. But again, her return for this movie has been rumored for the longest time, so if it does actually end up happening, I would not at all be surprised. And if we do see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, it would make sense to see maybe at least a cameo from Kirsten Dunst's Mary Jane Watson, because this is later in the timeline, so we're assuming they're probably married by now. Maybe they even have kids or something like that. And I think that would be really cool, and especially since this is supposed to be like the big, basically the ultimate Spider-Man movie with the crossovers, all these three different franchises. You want to get in as many characters as possible, and Mary Jane is really one of the big ones that you need from that Raimi franchise. Then when it comes to Deborah Ann Woll as Karen Page, this is something we were not expecting at all, because again, just like with everybody else, we've been hearing rumors for Charlie Cox's return as Matt Murdock in this film for the longest time. He's supposedly been spotted on set, and it's basically set that he is returning as Daredevil in the MCU for Spider-Man No Way Home. And we've heard nothing about the return of Karen Page, but if Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock shows up, then it would make sense for Karen to be there as well, because, it actually depends on how they do this, whether it's continuing with the continuity of the Daredevil Netflix series and after season 3 and all that stuff, or maybe they'll completely reboot and just reuse the same actors. But if it is with the same continuity, then actually after Daredevil season 3, I guess, spoiler alert, they created Nelson, Murdock, and Page, or maybe it was a different order there, but anyway, they created the law firm for Foggy Nelson, Matt Murdock, and Karen Page. So it would make sense for her to show up, and possibly even Foggy as well. If we have Matt doing some sort of case here, most likely to try and clear Peter Parker's name for being framed for the death of Mysterio, it would make sense if maybe Peter shows up to their law firm and Karen is there, and again, possibly Foggy as well. But the question is, there is no question about how it would make sense that these characters return for this movie based off everything we've heard about it. But the question is it actually happening though? Because yes, it's a photo of these two together, and they're near where the Spider-Man No Way Home reshoots are going down, but are they actually returning for the movie? And I think we kind of have our answer, because Deborah Ann Woll, on the original post of this photo of the two, actually commented, "This is not me," and saying that she's not the woman in the photo alongside Kirsten Dunst. And, to be fair, you couldn't really tell, because that woman was wearing a mask, whereas Kirsten Dunst was not. But some very talented people have actually done a little research and found out that that actually, in fact, is not Deborah Ann Woll. So she is not in the photo, so it's actually kind of not... I mean, we really have no evidence that she is returning for this movie. But apparently that other woman alongside Kirsten Dunst is just one of Kirsten Dunst's friends that she hasn't seen in a while, and they're just out and about hanging out. So, I mean, good for them, but does this mean Kirsten Dunst is coming back? We don't know, because again, we've heard those rumors, and we've heard those reports. They've been around for almost a year at this point, and we still don't know if they're true. We still don't even know if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield come back. Again, there's so much evidence, but at the same time, you never know what's real and what's fake to try and get a reaction out of us. We're kind of just going to have to wait and see. We really are just going to have to wait and see with this movie. Once it does actually release, whether that's in December or if it gets delayed, we don't really know. Now, just because I don't think that this is actually true, that that Deborah Ann Woll is returning and that Kirsten Dunst is filming reshoots right now, I definitely do hope that they're in the movie. I think Kirsten Dunst is more likely to have a part in the movie than Deborah Ann Woll, because again, we heard reports on that previously. But, you know, they both have a reason to be here based off things we've heard reported. So I would love to see both of them a part of it. I think that would be really fun. And again, even if they're just cameos, it would just be such good fan service in a way that's like, you know, they just show up. And if you've seen those movies, then great, you get that great feeling of nostalgia. If you haven't seen those movies, alright, it's not a big deal, it's just a quick cameo, we're moving on. And I think it'd be really cool. But again, we really have no idea what is going to happen in this film. We don't even know if we're getting a trailer at this point. I mean, it's like 4 months away from the movie, again, if it doesn't get delayed. So we're going to have to wait and see. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Do you think we will see the return of Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane Watson in Spider-Man No Way Home, and possibly Deborah Ann Woll as Karen Page? So anyways, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I keep up to date on everything goes on